penultimate episode. Transfer roundup rumour mill squashed in with a bit of Cardiff consortium. Dare we believe? No, of course not. We've got a fucking tyrant. Play the intro before I say something that cancels us.
Hello ladies and gents and welcome back to the Football Boo Podcast, episode 34 of season 4. My name is Fennan. Joining me tonight, I've got both the lads with me. Starting off with Mayhem, how you doing, sir?
I'm good, mate. It's strange, isn't it, this post-season
I feel like we're winging it, aren't we?
We've got this weird tournament going on in America that no one gives a fuck about.
No.
You know, there's transfer rumours, left, right and centre. Players returning to your club that you forgot existed. Yes, I am talking about you, Thiago Odin home. So yes, that's always nice. It's always strange, but yeah, not a lot happening. As it comes to be the expected stance from Celtic, not a lot's happening. A little bit more action your side. You know, some wild rumours.
Yeah, no, wild speculation involving G. Bale leading a consortium to buy the club from the dastardly Vincent Tan. Of course, Brian Barry Murphy, who was unveiled as Cardiff's head coach last week, funny enough, had his first press conference in front of the media and had a few. Well, initially he had a lot of positive things to say, and then a few actions that were taken later on in the week dulled the whole vibe. But before we get on to that, we're going to welcome back Gondor. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, I'm alright, man.
I'm
alright.
Yeah.
All good.
Yeah. Obviously, you were away last week. You were enjoying some live music from one of the greatest bands ever, Rise Against.
Mate, best night of my life.
Best night of your life so far.
But you've seen them 4 times now. Do you feel this is the 4th? Like, obviously, I guess it's got better every time you've gone to see them, or is it?
Oh yeah, absolutely. They're better each and every time.
Yeah.
And I went into this one a little bit wary because I've not been a fan of their new singles.
So they've only released new singles. They haven't released an album.
Album comes out in August.
Okay. Did they perform any of the new songs?
2 of them.
2 of them, okay.
Sounded pretty good live, actually.
Yeah.
Like, it sounded much better live. But I said that from the off. I think they overproduced the singles.
Yeah.
So hearing it live obviously has their real vibe behind it.
Yeah, no, I get it. I think we remember speaking about it when we heard the first single they released, and we thought, yeah, definitely overproduced. But
their latest single just sounds like Nickelback.
Oh God, I don't even want to hear it now. I kind of want to hear it just to see if I can put the two together, but I don't know. We'll say that could be like a tomorrow thing,
yeah,
at lunch or something. But anyway, yes, we are here for football as we are always. Mayhem. Obviously, we spoke last week, and it feels like it's been a big reunion at Celtic. Obviously, you had Kieran Tierney return, which was obviously one of the bigger names to talk about. But then a returning goalkeeper from Aberdeen, Doohan, I'm pretty sure. And then we're still pending the arrivals of Benjamin Nygren and who is it? Callum Osmand. What was his name? Is it Callum Osmand? Yeah.
I don't know. That's what I mean. We seem to be dragging our feet. We've kind of had the here we goes. I don't think we've had that for Benjamin Nygren as of yet, but basically had that for Callum. Osmand still hasn't been pictured in front of the North Stand with the shirt up as we normally see. So not really sure what was happening there. Rumour mill is flying around. I think it's all but confirmed now that Greg Taylor will leave. I think Copenhagen are the latest club to enter the fold to offer him a deal away. We've had some names be thrown around in the left back department, obviously we were discussing Josh Doig. I believe there's a Japanese left back that has surfaced as well. So shopping in a market that's been very fruitful for us as well as absolutely dog shite.
Yeah.
Kobayashi Kwon, you know what I mean? So hopefully,
Iwata.
yeah, that was okay.
Was he alright?
He was all right.
We'll give him a pass.
C minus, but he was all right compared to some of the other ones he's up against. He was okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's kind of been a bit limp. I mean, you look down south and you see the champions of England just going bang, 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 and doing the business nice and early. Putting the fingers up and saying, "Come catch us," and you kind of think, well, what's stopping us? Okay, Liverpool's obviously a bigger name, bigger brand, can pay more wages, but if we're going out and we've got the funds there and we're identifying these targets and they want to come, then let's get this fucking done. What we piss arse on about for, but yeah, that'll be I won't even be interested over the next week. Unfortunately, this is a pattern that we see take place so far too often. So, no doubt we'll be sitting here season 5, 3 weeks in, and I'll have my yearly board rant because a bunch of fucking just tight bastards that carry this football club through, put the season ticket prices up, allow the fans to spend that money, put the shirts up again, £75 a pop to buy a fucking shirt. All for the fans pummeling this money in for us to bank off of sales of Matt O'Reilly and others. And I mean, okay, you can say we broke our transfer record and 11 million, but if you add up the money that Matt O'Reilly paid and you add Jota into that, and we're barely spending anything. You know what I mean?
This is it's like a rinse and repeat rant
had,
about it. We were doing this time last year.
We've had the profits off of Jeremy Frimpong.
Yep.
Move in as well. Matt O'Reilly looks like he could move as well to Serie A. We'll no doubt have a percentage fee there. So there's money fucking rolling in here, and we're just again standing still while no matter how serious you take the other club across the side of the city, they do have people that are going to come in that are going to give them a transfer budget. They have a new manager, and who knows, Russell Martin may locate some players that are actually of a decent standard to come up and fight for a title in Scotland, and we're standing still pretending that if we do nothing, that will be enough.
Yeah, no, this is it, and Russell Martin is bound to have his contacts down south from across the Championship and even the Premier League, where he's going to be able to attract certain names that are going to obviously put Rangers up against Celtic next season, and it's a very risky procedure to carry out, which has been something that we've been familiar with for the last few seasons when you've made these big sales and there's been very little return.
Yeah, look, Daizen Maeda, I don't know if we'll be able to hold on to him. Again, the rumour mill is fine. Obviously, he's obviously had a fantastic season. I'm not convinced that he will do that again, and I think I've said quite openly that if we got the right fee for him, I think this is the perfect time for all parties here. We take the money, we make a great profit on him, he goes off to pastures new. But the problem with that is you just can't trust this board to go and invest and bring in a player as good as Daizen Maeda, if not a wee bit better. So it's tough. It's tough to come on here and have nothing to say in the intro about Celtic apart from we're still where we were last week.
Yeah, I know. And then we're stuck here saying the same
but
thing.
We've released a new training kit.
Way, at least you've released something.
Pay £50 for a fucking top you get in JD for 20 quid, but it's just got our badge fucking stuck on it. Fucking absolutely ludicrous. The board's a joke, mate. I always feel guilty about complaining about the board because you've got fucking Kim Jong-un's second cousin running your football club, but it's
running the sweatshop that's making the kits and all.
But it's wild, to have been in this position so many times, to just not kick on Right, that club is going to do what it always does and spend itself into oblivion across the city. So let's just move forward then. Let them do that and stamp on their fucking throat.
Yeah.
Because do you think the 49ers are going to stay around to be second best in Scotland? Their prime focus is always going to be Leeds United. We go through this. It's like Groundhog Day, mate. It's like a fucking Scooby Doo sketch from the 90s. Just same shit, different fucking year. And okay, KT's back, right? But we should have probably got that done in January. So we're 6 months late to that fucking party. Couldn't get a deal agreed. So risked him playing in pointless games for Arsenal where he could have broken down. Thankfully, he's through that. But we need so much more. Like being honest, like when you dissect that club, we need a backup for Kieran Tierney because no way he's going to be able to play. We definitely need a new centre half, like one that goes into play. Whether that means you bin Austin Trusty, then fucking bin him. Who gives a shit? And then you allow whoever else to scrap out for those positions behind. Whether it's Narofsky, but probably not because Brendan doesn't seem to like him. Whether it's Stephen Welsh, whether it's Liam Scales, whoever. But you need a centre back to come straight in.
There needs to be an understudy for Alistair Johnson as well, because I don't think we can really. I mean, we wanted to see the back of Ralston for God knows how long.
That's an unpopular opinion, though. Like I get that I have an unpopular opinion. If you ask most Celtic fans, they're absolutely happy with Anthony Ralston to be the backup. I think the drop off's too big.
Yeah,
and I don't.
The thing is, you never want a backup that's purely a backup. You want a backup that's either got history and is a little bit older, but they're now there to back up and support your players, or you want a backup that's got potential to replace your first team player. Ralston is neither of those.
No, he's a. I get the Celtics to be a bit different. So what we want is to have people at the football club that understand the football club and drive those standards. So obviously, we've had Scott Brown, and then he's passed it on to Callum McGregor. We've had the likes of Greg Taylor in there, Anthony Ralston, James Forrest. But all these boys are coming towards the end. So I understand, that Ralston's got, he's a few years younger and he can keep that. But I don't see it. The drop off is huge. I think he would be if he didn't come up through our academy and wasn't part of the Celtic structure. I think he'd be at the lower end of the Premiership format. In and around that kind of Kilmarnock-esque level. No offense to Kilmarnock, but you were pretty brutal this season. So I don't think we'll do anything there. I think we're pretty happy with the right back situation, but in a perfect world, we'd sort that. But I get why that may not be priority 1, 2, 3, or 4. And then you go into the midfield, and who's going, who's staying. Rio Hatate, is he still going to be here? Arnie Engels, there's rumours swirling. If a offer comes in that we can regain our money, do we take it? Does Brendan trust him to kick on in the second season? And then obviously there's the striker situation as well. Whether we get at Callum Osmand over that, he's not coming in to start. So we need a striker. Brendan's already said that he wants, an attacking winger that scores goals. Whether that's Benjamin Nygren, who knows? But if you could just get a few of these across the line and kind of tick off a few, then we can, relax a wee bit going into the. It's not going to be long before, the season's 4 weeks away. You know what I mean? We're not far out from that now.
Yeah.
So
no, exactly.
To get these players in, to get them embedded, to get them feeling comfortable, so we can just hit the ground running come the start of the season. There'll be qualifiers as well that will be coming up that we haven't had to face for the last couple of years. So that adds a different aspect to, those early season games as well. I think there'll be a qualifier just before the first Glasgow derby as well. So it adds a different sort of format to how we need to operate and get things done. And so far, we are moving along at a snail's pace.
Yeah, safety car, as you once said.
It's it, mate. We're just trudging along behind it. And you have the safety net, you have the season ticket holders, you have the revenue, right? You have that, 20 to 30 million pound that comes in every single year from the season ticket holders. if you give Brendan half of that to just go out and spend on players, that guaranteed revenue, right, that also guarantees the fucking revenue. Right? If supporters can see that their season ticket money is then being actively spent, and there's loads of different shit that goes into running a football club. I don't run it, right? And so that's fine. But if you were proportioned and given some of that, if it's available, which I can imagine it is from our bank balance, to say, right, this has just come in, bosh, that's your budget. Go and do with it what you want. We don't need 5, 6 players, but what we do need is probably 3 real quality players.
Yeah.
Into the football club.
Yeah, and it's not even a case of early days, like you said, like with the qualifiers kicking in earlier than usual. It's going to be the sense of like, you know, getting these deals over the line, and actually giving a sense of optimism to the fans that
you can see the fan first. Oh, look down south again. I know I keep talking about, but look at Liverpool, Florian Wirtz, Jeremy Frimpong. It sounds like they're going to get Mark Gay as well. Kirkes landing today. Liverpool are on cloud 9. They've just won the league. They're kicking on. Everyone's shitting himself.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never heard fucking Rory Jennings stutter so much on TalkSport when he's talking about fucking transfers because he's absolutely petrified of Liverpool dominating the league for the next 2 seasons. People are almost praying.
I'd love to give that kind of permanent starter, to be honest, but yeah. He fucks me off, man.
People are almost praying that Man City comes back. You know what I mean? People are almost praying that the most dominant team that we have seen in a long, long time is back next season because of the moves that Liverpool are making.
Yeah.
You know, they have the league pretty well on guard here, right? These boys aren't fucking about. And if they go out and get a striker, if they actually add a 9 to that, whether it's that boy from Frankfurt, was it Ekete?
Ekitike, yeah.
It doesn't look like it's going to be Isaac now, but you know, whether they would go out and pick up one of these names that they're potentially being linked with, and they actually get a striker in that's going to score 15 goals. Wow.
Well, they're also looking to offload Darwin Nunez, and he has said that he's open to a move to Napoli, according to sources. So again, that would free up space and would absolutely probe Liverpool to act on that. Konsa off to Leverkusen.
They've got a buyback clause in there as well, so obviously doing smart business in case he turns into a top player. Just making smart moves, and it feels like a transfer window where everybody else has kind of stood still. The big breaking news was obviously City, getting those players in for the Club World Cup. Real Madrid paying £10 million for Trent Alexander-Arnold, and then nothing. Matheus Cunha, maybe you can say that was, in there as well. But really, it's been a super quiet window.
Yeah,
and every fucking rumour is just Liverpool.
It is. It's just Liverpool, City, and then like you said, United. Everyone's getting linked with United. Arsenal with their speculation surrounding Šeško and Gyökeres.
They need to make a decision, don't they?
Just go with Gyökeres. That's what I was crying out for it last week.
I don't get right. So I've watched a lot of people talking about Gyökeres and how will he deal with the Prem and and them saying, he wasn't that good when last time he was in England.
Yeah, it was.
Exactly. I don't get it.
It was fucking awesome.
Did they not see him at his last season at Coventry? The guy was a fucking monster.
Fucking cheat code of the Championship. The guy was ridiculous.
In a league that is far more physical than the Prem, it's a lot more balanced and even, meaning that, from 1st to 24th, they're a lot closer. If he goes to Arsenal will be far superior and dominate far more of the ball and create far more chances when they're playing against, the bottom sides. I don't get why people kind of I'm not sure about him. And then on the same breath, you've got United fans saying I don't want him, but I want Victor Osimhen. Hold on a minute, what the fuck are you talking about, mate? Are you talking about a guy that struggled to score 20 goals in Turkey? That's your guy. They're saying, don't go for Gyökeres because the last time we backed a manager with Anthony, he was shit. Yeah, he was, right? That's very true. But that doesn't mean that every time you trust a manager, shit. That's like not giving Sir Alex Ferguson a transfer budget because he signed fucking Bebe. Like, what are you talking about? As if sometimes people don't get stuff wrong. Dorgu, I don't think is a massive look. I can spot a player. I don't think Almiron has done himself any favours. This is a guy that's nearly 97 goals in 103 games or whatever it is. Come on.
Yeah. No, doesn't make any sense. And of course, they're going to be drawing comparisons to when he was only, 2019, when he was at Brighton, but then completely dismiss the progress he made at Coventry. It was ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean, it's a learning sport. He's had time to learn. He's built into who he is as a player now.
Yeah.
Like,
he had
2 years is
he
long.
He had a loan spell with the Jacks as well and learned not to fucking score for them, which was great. I'm like, I love the inside job work, mate.
2 years in football is a long time, and players change a lot in that time.
Yeah.
Like,
6 months is a long time in football. No one in world football would have paid any kind of fee for Anthony. Now, Man United might actually get a fee for him because of his time at Betis. I'm hoping because of Evan Ferguson's shit time at West Ham, he might decide to come on loan to us for a season. Which would
that'd be so fucking exciting. Obviously, you can't get too excited, but
yeah. Then you have to tell yourself don't get attached to loan players. But it's a massive changes, like you said, across that time span in football. And if you're serious about going for a league title next year, right, sign the guy that scores goals, not the guy, right, that has a higher ceiling. Maybe that makes sense if if you're a project team and you're aiming for 3 years. If it was Arteta's first season and they just finished 8th, Sesko makes sense.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
What you need now is
someone you need that finisher.
Yeah, that plugs straight in. That's going to get you goals, and Gyökeres will score goals. I'm sure Sesko will as well. Look, they create a lot of chances. If Moreno's scoring goals up front, I'm sure they'll both score goals. But I think if you're looking for someone to fire you to a league title, big, strong, athletic, quick, where have we seen that work before? Haaland? No, I'm not saying he's as good, but it's the same type of player: big, strong, athletic, powerful. I don't understand what the problem is, and apparently neither does Gyökeres, as he tries to force his way out of Sporting.
No, he does, yeah. Obviously, yeah, it's become very clear that him and the president have had a Barney. But, we said last week, it's understandable that the president wants to get as much out of him as possible if he is going to jump ship.
100%.
Do the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, everyone in world football should have learnt from Harry Kane and Daniel Levy. Those gentlemen agreements mean fuck all.
Mm-hmm.
Get it in writing, get them to sign it in blood, make it ironclad. Otherwise, you ain't going nowhere. You are prime asset number uno, mate. You're not fucking leaving. You're not fucking leaving.
You're not. You're the wolf of Sporting now.
You're not fucking leaving unless someone comes in and offers big money. And there's no nines in the world. You hear every pundit and their dog tell you this, right? There isn't any fucking formidable strikers in the world. Everyone's looking for it. So who have you got really in terms of formidable numbers strikers? Gyökeres, maybe Osmand. Maybe you can factor him in. Outside of that, you're struggling for someone.
He's like at a stretch if he stays fit.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he's leaving Newcastle though.
Ones that want to obviously move on. Yeah, of course.
People are talking about Ekatike. He's not put up crazy numbers, has he? I mean, he's been factored into this conversation that shows you how starved we are for strikers. I did see, talking to strikers, that Kyogo may be going to Birmingham.
I saw that as well, and
grass wasn't always greener. He's just going there to fucking partner up with his pal Watter, like.
I'll tell you what, I bet he's obviously had a big say in the idea, that's for sure.
He would do well there, he'd score goals. 100%.
He would score goals, yeah, he absolutely would. But I mean, obviously there'll be more to come on that, but I mean, I think they're looking at a sense for him to revitalise his career as it hasn't gone so well for him at Rennes.
Yes. And basket case, that club, isn't it? Rennes fucking been the manager every 7 months.
Sure isn't the Watford owner there. You know what I mean? Well, speaking of ownership, Cardiff Twitter has been running wild over the last few days, courtesy of Mr. Gareth Bale, who is, it's become very much more than speculation that him and a led consortium has put together a proposal to buy Cardiff City.
Wales, Cardiff, Town in that order.
Exactly. So they proposed, they had made an initial first offer, which was rejected. Some have said, again, like I said, it's purely talk, and there's words saying that they may go back in for a second offer. Otherwise, I think it's just going to be the case of Vincent Tan only passing over the club to a fellow Malaysian.
Do we know what was bid?
No, I didn't see any numbers.
I saw it's looking like it's probably a private equity bid. Now, I have no idea what a private equity bid. Private equity, stock in private company. So basically, they're looking to buy like stocks or something of Cardiff to become like
majority shareholders.
Apparently, it's quite a big thing in the EFL at the moment, where a lot of clubs are doing that. And because it's private equity, they don't go on sale for general people. You have to put big money up to get hold of some of it. I could be wrong there, but that's what it looks like it is.
I don't understand at this point, and I know we speak about this man so often, but it's talking about Cardiff, you can't not stray into. What's Tan's end game here? Like, what is the end plan? Because maybe you could understand him holding on for another season post Bullet because you finished quite well, and maybe he thought in his wildest dreams maybe another Premiership stint was maybe 2 or 3 years away. But you're currently in League One, the lowest the club has been in a long fucking time. You're losing servants that have been there for a long time, as we'll touch on later on, servants to the football club. There is a terrible feeling around this football club. Right? Why do you want to stay? If someone is coming in and offering you money, okay, maybe it's below what you class the club as within the market value. If someone is coming in and offering you a chance to recoup some of those losses and fuck off.
This is it.
Well,
and he said, I think the last time he spoke publicly to the fans when he last attended the game, he was biting back at thoughts towards him, and obviously the knowledge of us wanting him gone. And he turned around and made some fucking bitterly comment of maybe like a rich Welshman will come along and buy it then instead. Hello.
So one reason that he might be holding on so bitterly at the moment is that while Cardiff are mostly financially sound, they're not in a bad shape. There's £117 million of debt, the majority of which is towards the owner and things he owns. So any bid that comes in would likely mean that he doesn't get that £117 million back.
Sounds like a Tam problem.
He's running a football club. He's never getting that back unless he's become a sustained Premier League club, which, with the greatest of sympathies, looks unrealistic.
Yep.
Even in the 2 promotions straight back down, and that's no disrespect. That's anyone in the Championship. You've got Leeds going up. You've got Burnley going up. Who won the playoffs?
Sunderland.
Those guys going up. Who can potentially see one of the other 17 teams in the Premier League getting relegated? Maybe you can make an argument for Brentford. They seem to be having all their best players poached and they've had their manager poached. Maybe you can make that argument, but I still think they'll be absolutely fine. Right? Wolves have been shit, but under their new manager, look decent. Everton have been shit, look decent under Moyes. How the fuck does any club survive? How do you break this mould? Right? Unless you just do a Nottingham Forest and say, fuck it. Right? We're going to spend what we want. We'll take the points deduction and put our hands together and hope that we're actually okay post that points deduction. That seems to be the only way to do it in recent times. So even if you get to the point where you're the best in class in the Championship, then going on to become a sustained Premier League club where you're actually making profit, which again, is very, very difficult.
Yeah.
Because of the money and the money you have to spend on players, getting to the point where, I mean, there's a rule in the Premier League. I think it's each. So basically, what you can lose per season, right, within financial fair play. So each Premier League club, I think it's like £61 million they're allowed to lose each season, and then it's obviously calculated over 3 seasons. So 60 million, they can lose like 180 million over 3 seasons. When you in the Championship, you can only lose 30 odd million. So the first season you come up, you again then have to be smart about the business you're doing, because you're in the Championship last season, you can only make a £31 million loss. Those guys that you're trying to catch can actually make a £30 million loss, more than you could have been in the Premiership. So becoming a sustained Premier League club now it's not impossible, but it's very, very difficult.
I'm also like light years. I mean, the fact that we're nowhere close to the likes of Leeds and Burnley and Sunderland, and still feels that this is a club that he can make financially sustainable is so unrealistic of him to think that.
No, and I agree with all of that as well. Tan has to say yes. Like, he needs to recoup what he can at this time. He's got to step away and put his money somewhere else that's not football.
And
buy Swansea.
let someone come in and rejuvenate the football club. We see it at Sunderland, right? Look at the redemption arc they've gone on. Someone's come in, wants the club to do well. You know, obviously the cliche story is Wrexham, the redemption arc. You know, we see teams now go League One to the Premiership within 3 or 4 seasons. Ipswich obviously did it recently. Sunderland, you know, way back. You know, Southampton going back to back. So it's not out of the realms of possibility that if you get this momentum rolling, that you can go. But Cardiff is so far from having any momentum. If Cardiff lose the first game of the season, toxicity around that club will be unbearable. Even if you win the first 5,
you just imagine the atmosphere.
Yeah, even if you win the first 5 games, right? That's only going to start to entice a few more people back. It's going to be record low crowds, right? And you know, it's going to be like every game's going to be like how you were playing out towards the end of the season. You know what I mean? That half full stadium. There's nothing really exciting in League One. There's no derby. There's no real, you know, get it up your game. Maybe I don't even know if Bristol Rovers are still cutting about in that fucking division. Who knows? But there isn't anything to really get anything going. So the only thing that can get this club going is promotion. And that seems a long way away when, I guess this is the best time to get onto it, when you're losing absolute, you know, icons of the modern history of the football club. People that have been there through thick and thin. That Big Bazza comes in and decides he doesn't need that kind of loyalty. He doesn't need those kind of players, you know, that have been there, that know the football club, that are going to run through brick walls, and they're allowed to step away.
Honestly, like, I mean, you know my thoughts towards Rallsy. I mean, this man's been at the club for 15 years, and obviously you don't know the ins and outs of the conversations that were had between BBM and Joe Ralls, but the fact that he's just let him go is just fucking heartbreaking. Like,
You can't call him BBM either, man. I'm
always thinking of the BlackBerry.
I was going to say BlackBerry Messenger cannot be in charge.
I don't know. Brian Barry Murphy. It's a mouthful though. But,
Big Barry Bazza.
Big Barry Bazza. Triple B. But yeah, the fact that he's just gone and let him go and not give him any form of role at the club next season.
Yeah,
just really I'm dumbfounded by it. And like to see again, like just not, you know, just
Renamotor.
I kind of understand Renamotor.
I don't. It was one of the better performers last year, but I don't know how much of that is the club not wanting. I can't imagine they haven't offered Renamotor a contract. I can't imagine that. I think probably what was put in front was a League One contract, and he's thought, no, do you know what? I can get a Championship club, which is.
I think he can as well. I think he
that might be wrong.
last season. Yeah.
If I'm wrong, Renamotor, come on the pod, tell me.
Fabrizio last week, Renamotor this week. It's brilliant. Hey,
Rulesy, when you come, mate.
Rulesy, oh mate, honestly.
The worst thing I feel for Rulesy here is, yeah, he's been given the let go, but he's got no way of having a final farewell to the fans, or for the fans to have a final farewell to him as well. Because normally in this situation, you know they're leaving. You bring them on in the last game, you get your standing ovation, and now he's just been let go in the middle of the summer with no football around. So he's not even going to get his final farewell.
No, it's always, you know how it is. The modern day, they send out a massive message on social media. You have like videos of him playing over the 15 years he spent at the club. It's that outcome, isn't it? And like you said,
it's not the same.
No, absolutely not. But I honestly could. It sounded so promising when we spoke last week that Renamotor and Rulesy were both in talks about agreeing a new contract, and then all of a sudden for it to take a complete U-turn and to see them.
It's the same with Rules. I can't imagine that Cardiff have not offered him a contract.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously what's been put in front of him hasn't been appealing for whatever reason, whether that's game time, money, whatever it is. And, they've come together and decided it's best for them to part ways. If you're down in League One and it's playing time, that's stupid, to be honest. Because you should easily be one of the best, say this, touching wood and very cautiously, but you should be one of the best 3 teams in that division because you've just been relegated.
Yeah.
So it should be a division that Rulesy should be able to play more minutes and have more of an impact. And if it's money, for one more year to have that experience in going for a promotion push, if that's what it gets, that shit could be invaluable.
Yeah.
How can you put a price on experience? You can't.
No, exactly. And
I'm guessing that means that Blackberry Messenger favours youth, and he's gonna ping.
Yeah.
It does look that way at the moment, because what I was looking up was everything's talking about academy prospects are getting moved up, or like coming into this summer training camp.
Yeah, there are a few
names. What's his name?
Capaccio. Ronan Capaccio, Dylan Lawler, who started against Villa in the FA Cup last season, put in a very strong performance. I think there's another one as well. We'll have Joel Colwill coming back from his loan spell at Cheltenham. There would be Eli King coming back from his loan spell at Stevenage. So yeah, there's plenty of names that have cropped up who are obviously academy projects that on paper look very promising, but again, like going into League One, it's going to be a whole new experience for everyone, even especially for the young players. But
it's an absolute dogfight.
This is it, and of course on paper you obviously put us in at the very least the top 5 teams that you back to fight for promotion.
The article I was looking at earlier, they said obviously you've had a mass exodus. We've spoken about Rulesy and Renamotor, but you've also had Ramsey go, and then you've got Yaku Mete, Dimi Dutas, Jamilu Collins, and Nazi have all left. But the ones that have been seen for the first day of training, which was today, I believe.
It was today, yeah.
You've got Kia Matete, Ryan Wintle, Joel Colwill, Ronan Capaccio, Dylan Lawler, Tanatswa Nyakua.
Yeah, he was the one
Great
I was
name.
thinking of, yeah.
And Kian
Welsh
Ashford.
as well, by the way.
And Kian Ashford. So that's 7, 8 academy or young players immediately being noted as.
A few of them have got a caveat, right? Kian Ashford, don't give me this academy bollocks, right? This boy was playing last season and was performing well. For me, he goes in the Ruben Colwill category. You're in League One now, fucking break out. Don't give me all this are young, shut the fuck up. You're playing League One football, break out. Right? If you're gonna be, if this is your potential and you can play at a high level, you go and show that. There's obviously a few that have come in that you've mentioned there, Lawler and co, that weren't seen as much, and that's fair enough, right? These are boys that are going to be led in, but you're almost now relying on people like Kean Ashford, on like Davis, to be senior members of this football club. And they haven't, a load of them have barely broken 21, 22 years of age. And these are boys that you're going to rely on because you've allowed senior footballers to leave the club.
Yeah.
It seems a bit mad.
Yeah. Ashford's kind of now, like you said, he's on the rail there. He's on the fence of becoming what Colwell's situation is. And obviously Colwell's had it now for, 3, maybe 4 seasons, where there's just no excuses now. And in Brian Barry Murphy's opening press conference, Colwell's name did come up. And what he said, and I quote, he spoke on Colwell and said he's a huge talent. Our job is to put him in a position to maximise his potential. Ruben is symbolic of the club, a lot of potential, but it's our job to unlock that. I'm sure he sees it. He'll be really excited about it. There are a lot of players in that position. And this is the thing, like, they've got to unlock which role suits him, because we've seen him experimented in so many different positions, and he shows promise but then dies off very quickly. Kean Ashford, I feel now he's going to be huge for us next season, and he's got to be he's got to make himself one of the first players on the team sheet. Isaac Davis was
on Ashford. I think he can, mate. I think he burnt out last season. God love the boy, because he burned
too much
bright
too soon.
Yeah, he burned bright for the first half of the season, and you obviously went out. Was it Alves from Leicester you got on the wing? And you tried to go in a different direction. Obviously, I think a lot of that was panic at the the realization that you were in a big dogfight, and this could be a hard reset. It would be a bigger hard reset if that consortium could push the fucking tyrant out. But
100%.
We'll leave it there. Gareth, do it, mate. Yeah. But yeah, I think he's. I've just had enough. I know, I know Gondor is a real soft spot for him and looks through those rose-tinted glasses, but I absolutely think that Kean Ashford is the biggest talent at Cardiff City at the moment.
I absolutely agree.
Don't worry, Mayhem. Don't worry. I stopped singing Cole's praises about halfway through last season.
I think his brother's better than him.
His brother is better than him.
Well, the same thing. She prefers Joel Colwell too.
Great first name.
Yeah, that's her first name.
I do have a soft spot for Ruben. And I still have so much hope that he will develop into something big. But he showed more life and talent 3 seasons ago than he did this last season. And if you're getting worse at football, we said it earlier, 2 years is a very long time in football. For your talent to have gone down is horrifying. And he needs to do something.
Like, imagine your ceiling being at the age of 23. Like,
I don't think his talent's gone down, because you see it in flashes. Right?
Yeah, you do.
See it in flashes. He's just become incredibly inconsistent, and it's not even like he goes through a purple patch. He has like a good 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So like he'll be playing unreal for 20 minutes, and then the rest.
And then he'll start the next game. He won't fucking
move at all.
Yeah, he won't cover any ground. He'll lose the ball upfield, and he won't track back. And this is like, again, my auntie said it herself. She thinks he's fucking lazy. Like, his work ethic has always been the problem. But when he gets
from the moment he dyed his hair,
oh god,
it all went to shit.
I'm glad he hasn't fucking revisited that fucking possibility again. So, but sorry.
Obviously, Bazza Murphy's got to come in here, and he's got to lay down real fundamentals, real principles that he's gonna impose on these footballers, and he's gonna hold them accountable. And if that means that some people don't want to be at the football club, then get them out. Exactly. There's a big name there that I haven't heard anything on. Maybe you can enlighten me, because I haven't followed this obviously as closely as you, but Does this mean that we're enduring another year of Callum Chambers?
Callum Chambers was at training as well.
Yeah,
He
wasn't kicked out.
I'm hoping he's fucking fifth fiddle.
So Perry and G, he's there for now, is he?
Perry and G's here for now. Two other individuals that I saw at training. Well, I didn't see them physically, but you know.
We were stood there at the gates.
I'll play anyway, Gaffer. Callum Robinson and Yusuf Salek were present as well.
Yeah.
We think they'll both be here come the end of the window?
Callum Robinson, I don't think so. He's been heavily linked with a move to Preston. Salek, again, this was something again that I read on Twitter as well. This is so bad for our sources, but someone swore 100% on their life that in Costco in Cardiff bumped into Yusuf Salek, had a chat with him, and has expressed that he wants to stay at Cardiff and get them back up to the Championship.
Swear on my mother's life, nothing crossed.
Exactly.
But
his words, not mine. I haven't got the tweet with me, but this is.
Let's be fair. Twitter aside, he said that when the relegation happened anyway, that he wanted to stay.
Yeah.
So, I'm not sure I fully believe the tweeter, but I believe the sentiment. That
I heart G Bale 1 2 3. Why would you not believe him?
You know what I mean? He was the first tweet about the consortium, funny enough. Yeah, but I mean, look, I think we got to take everything with a pinch of salt and focus on the players that are going to be here next season.
What do you think Alex Robertson's staying?
He was at training as well, actually.
He was at training, but there's been a lot of speculation over whether he's going to stay or move.
Yeah, I imagine he'll have a lot of suitors because, again, he was another bright spot in the team last season. He worked previously with Brian Barry Murphy at Man City, and so I'm hoping, obviously, having that reunion together will convince Robertson to stay on. I mean, I think the whole press conference, listened to it last week, I think he spoke incredibly well, incredibly positive, worded everything down to a T. There was 2 adjectives that he summed up his philosophy with, and that was aggressive and progressive.
Okay.
Which sounds very promising. And of course, we've spoken in the past about
He's been Football Manager course, isn't he?
Oh,
yeah. Aggressive and progressive.
Can I just
recently bought a thesaurus, isn't he?
He'll talk in positions like you're a 6 and you're an 8 and you're a centre midfielder, mate. Stop fucking confusing me with numbers. This isn't the lottery.
Yeah. Can I point out a quote here? I don't know if this was from his press conference or if it's a different quote, but it's about him and Alex Robertson. And he said, "I spoke to Alex multiple times when he first came to Cardiff to help him. He told me how special a club it was, and he spoke about the opportunity here to develop into a high-level team." He then follows that up by going, "That hasn't materialised and is probably why I'm here now."
No, he definitely didn't say that.
That is a quote on...
I don't remember hearing that.
No, but that's what I mean. It's a quote. I don't know if it came from the press conference or somewhere else, but that is quoted. He has said that.
Yeah, perhaps, yeah. But I mean, I think because he spoke about Alex Robertson briefly, and they were talking about obviously the reunion between the two, and he was asked, "Oh, how does it feel like reuniting with a former Man City academy player?" And he said, "To be honest, I think he'd be quite sick of seeing me because I was on him so much when we were both at Man City together." And so, I mean, this is the thing. Like we've spoken in the past about previous individuals at the helm, Omar Reza, Bullet, Morrison, Hudson, whoever it is, and they've always spoke well, and we've always sat here and gone, yeah, I think they get it. But then you look at their portfolio, like Bullet came from Turkey, not really a exciting background portfolio. Omar Reza got the job out of a cereal box, and as did many others prior to Bullet. Morrison did, Hudson did. I mean, Lamucci was okay, but of course they just opted not to keep him on. But this is a guy who's actually worked under Pep Guardiola, has rubbed shoulders with him, has obviously, I'd like to think has learnt a lot during his time at Man City, and
He's
again,
learned how to be aggressive and progressive.
yeah, exactly. But I mean, Pep said to himself, like, you got to make your own in football. You can take all the advice you need, but you need to have your own identity.
The only kind of positive that I kind of lean at, anyone that comes out of that structure at Man City has done well. Arteta has done well at
Yeah.
Arsenal. You look at where he's picked him up from. Maresca got Leicester promoted, even though the fans fucking hated him. Got Chelsea into the Champions League, even though the fans fucking hate him. So anyone that's stepping outside of that mould is having a positive impact.
Yeah.
But it would be the most Cardiff City fucking thing in the world to pick the dud out of the untold gems that probably exist within that. And Postecoglou was a part of the the City Football Group as well. So that people that come out of that mould are winners because they've been around it and they go on to perform. Obviously, I can't even get his name down. I keep getting views, but he was obviously at Leicester. Not a lot of winning was done there.
No.
So you've got to hope that the latter follows across. Obviously, got to back him. He's made some bold decisions early on. We've spoken about, and it's got to be full tilt now. I mean, we're about 6 weeks away now from it being
approaching rapidly.
What I will say is, when we've spoken about managers coming in previously, there's always been a big sense of hope for the future of, okay, this guy's the guy to come in and change things. He's done well so far. He's going to be one to change it. When Brian Barry Murphy was first announced, we were taking the piss out of the fact that he had nothing to his name. He's come in, made all these big changes. The general feeling isn't as positive. It's more in the middle. So maybe this could be, because you're not coming in with such high hopes of this manager this time.
Oh, but he's coming in with big expectation. I don't care what the feel is around that football club. Everybody at Cardiff City expects to get promoted next season.
Oh, absolutely. Don't get me wrong. I agree with that. That's got to be the expectation. But there's not so much like putting all your hopes and dreams on the manager getting everything perfect this time.
I don't think that there's a lot of belief behind the appointment, but there is as big an expectation as there's ever been at Cardiff to go and win 80% of your games next season.
Yeah.
Like, if you'd have survived in the Championship, gets brought in, wins 40% of his games, that's seen as a good season. They don't cut it next year. If they don't finish inside the top two, and there's still some decent sized clubs and some successful clubs in League One. If you don't finish inside the top two, disappointing. If you don't go up, disaster. That is, I don't care who you are, that is massive pressure.
Yeah.
You're going to have clubs that have built steadily, the Stockports that are in there, Orient that went very, very close to getting promoted. The two other teams that have come down, Plymouth have gone out and they've obviously lost Hardy. He looks like he's gone to Wrexham from what I've seen.
He has, yeah.
It's positive news for you, but they've gone and got Tom Cleverley, who I thought did a decent job at Watford. I don't think he deserved to be sacked, but
no, absolutely not.
If you're at Watford, you just get sacked. Luton, Luton fucking were in the Prem 2 years ago. Everyone was almost saying that they had signed like a Championship club in the Prem, so that meant they were going to be safe in the Championship because of the players that they had brought. So you'd expect them to be very, very strong. It's a big season, and I hope we're sitting here next year and we're buzzing because we're getting ready for another Championship season. But there's massive pressure.
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, he's spoken a big game as well, so I'm hoping he does relish the challenge and he obviously takes all these players who we've spoken about who have heaps of potential and how this is going to be their breakout season. He's just got to put the pieces of the puzzle in the right place. And fingers crossed it comes to fruition and it doesn't end up to be a disaster, which of course I imagine not just myself but a lot of Cardiff fans are anticipating.
Racing for.
Yeah. So, but let's hope it's the more the positive, and so. But let's move on. Let's talk about 3 managers who have proven themselves, and that is us 3 on Football Manager. You boy. Now, we spoke last week. Mayhem, me and Gondor had completed our 4th season. I won the league of Nygren. Gondor snatched a 2nd place finish along with the French Cup.
Against a fucking invincible league season, Paris.
Yep, they were invincibles in yours. And Mayhem, you saw out the rest of your 4th season, so enlighten us.
So finished 2nd, which was all but confirmed was going to happen last week, and won the French Cup as well.
Happy days.
I did get a jazzy little thing saying I'd done a double because I won that competition that kicks off the kicks off the French domestic season campaign.
Trophy Les Champions.
That's it. Yeah,
I'm in that this season. It's exciting.
Apparently it counts as a double. So
it does. If the game says so.
Went in the quarterfinals of the Champions League in extra time to Arsenal. So that was gutting. But yeah, overall, I think it's probably, well, apparently not the best I can do because Clement can win the fucking league. But it felt, PSG feel difficult to top.
I feel like I should have updated the squads though before we started this because I mean, like hearing the squads on your saves sound absolutely stupidly good.
Yeah, the PSG one.
Yeah, and it's just not as good on mine. I feel.
But the thing is, Fennan, is like, I didn't update my squad either.
Well, maybe it's just a sense of, I don't know, just unfortunate, I guess.
We are like 4 years in now as well. There's a lot of changes that have happened.
Yeah, that's true. But season 4 is finished. We did decide, as you both finished 2nd place and won the French Cup, that we wouldn't impose a punishment on either of you. No need to sell your best player. None of that nonsense.
Thank God for that.
But I do need to change my formation, so I don't know if you boys want to discuss it now or if you want.
I chose the last one. I'll hand this one over to Joel.
This is where it gets.
Don't give him 5 defenders though, because he does well with that.
What are you playing now?
Well, I reverted back from the 5 at the back. I went to 4, like a 4-1-2-2-1.
4-2-2.
4-2-2. Challenge accepted. No wingers. Fuck.
Well, you can incorporate wingers.
Oh yeah, actually, yeah, you're right. You can. It'll be like a 4-2-4 more like, wouldn't it?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. Oh yeah. All right. We can do that.
All out attack, mate. You're gonna have fun.
Yeah.
We're gonna win 6-5.
We're gonna win 6-5. No, I'm up for that. 100%. Absolutely up for that. And then we can crack on with our transfer windows now as well.
Yeah.
100%.
Which will be fun.
And then one final update next week, and then I guess we'll just come back with a great story at the start of season 5.
Yeah. Exactly.
I did say that to Fennan earlier when he said like this is the penultimate episode. I was like, so what happens to the save then? Because I've not touched this for 2 weeks now, and I've been shaking, man. Like the withdrawals getting to me. I'm having so much fun with this save. It's like I can't go a summer without playing this.
No, I did like. I mean, obviously, if we do get an opportunity, and if we can fix a date to do it, I think we should actually do like a live playthrough of us on Football Manager. Obviously, you'd only see my game, but obviously get you guys up on camera as well, and we could do like a live stream together or something, perhaps. If you're up for it, yeah.
Sounds good. I'll have to join on my phone though, because my laptop will melt if I try and load up FM and join a call.
That's fair enough. That's fair enough. Well, that is us then. Penultimate episode done. We'll be back one more time next week for the finale of season 4. It's going to be emotional. I'll try not to get emotional this evening about Joe Ralls, but Rallsy, if you're watching, thank you for everything in the last 15 years. I'll miss you dearly. Like I said, you've gone above and beyond for this club, on and off the pitch. I'll always relish that 2-minute conversation we had on the phone that time, and for the signed Christmas card, which is up on the highest shelf right now, which I can't get to reach. But thank you for everything, Rallsy. We'll miss you. Ladies and gents, thank you very much for tuning in. If you are new to the Football Boo podcast, make sure to check us out on all audio platforms. We're available on Spotify, Audible and Apple. If you're watching us over on YouTube, don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, ring that bell for notifications. Boys, thank you for this evening. Thank you, everyone. And I'll see you all next week. Good night and the star.